From predictions that he's got no chance against Fury, to people comparing the matchup to McGregor versus Mayweather, here are pro fighters reacting to Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. The Cameroonian mixed martial artist's been making some major moves since leaving the UFC, and this guy's on fire. Not only did he sign a sweet multi-fight deal with the PFL, but now he's booked a big money boxing match with Fury. Talk about hitting the jackpot. The news of the fight has got the combat sports community buzzing, and people can't help but speculate about who'll come out on top. Some fans are happy for Francis and the payday he's about to receive, but not so sure about his chances against Tyson. On the flip side, Mike Bone thinks it's a win-win for the fans, regardless of the outcome, reminding us that this moment was made possible by fighters standing up for their rights and pushing for better contract terms, so it's a game changer for the industry. But Grabaka Hitman wants to bring us back down to earth a bit, and believes anything other than the Fury versus Usyk is BS, because Francis isn't going to have much of a chance in this fight. But he acknowledges the unique opportunity that he has here. Being the lineal UFC heavyweight champ and getting a shot like this is something you may never see again. So, it's now or never for him. Tony Bellew, the former professional boxer, didn't hold back on the fight either, and according to him, it's nothing more than a cash grab from both fighters. He doesn't believe Ngannou thinks he can actually win, because in boxing, technique, style, and mechanics are everything, and Bellew doesn't see any of that in the Predator's arsenal. While he acknowledges his incredible power and athleticism, he thinks the fighter will never be able to transition into a true boxer. Bellew also claimed that if Fury were to step into the cage with Francis, he'd get absolutely demolished within a matter of seconds. Clearly, Bellew isn't impressed with this matchup and believes it's a mismatch in favor of Tyson. Even Khabib Nurmagomedov, the former UFC lightweight champion, weighed in on Ngannou's decision to step into the boxing ring against Fury. And according to Khabib, the chances of the Predator winning the fight are quite slim. He knows Ngannou's shown incredible power and success in the MMA world, but boxing's a different game altogether. Khabib himself was once linked to a crossover fight against Floyd Mayweather, but that matchup never happened. And instead, McGregor ended up facing Mayweather and suffered a 10-round stoppage loss. So, based on that experience, Khabib believes Ngannou should focus on his MMA career rather than throwing it all away and going into boxing. But he isn't stupid. He understands the financial aspect of the decision and understands the fighter comes from a humble background in Africa. He grew up facing hardships and lacking financial stability. So, if Ngannou can earn a truckload of cash by boxing for a day, Khabib thinks he should take it, predicting he'll earn around 50 to 60 million bucks. Because to Khabib, it's all about goals and priorities. And if Ngannou's main objective is to make money, then he should go for it. But if he wants to leave a lasting legacy and become the greatest heavyweight of all time, the Eagle believes staying in the UFC and pursuing MMA success is the path for him. On the flip side, Daniel Cormier, the man with the mean right hook, is throwing his full support behind Francis. Back when contract negotiations between the fighter and UFC head honcho Dana White hit a roadblock, Ngannou packed his bags and bid farewell to the UFC. But his story didn't end there, and he found a new home with the Professional Fighters League, starting a whole new chapter in his fighting career. So not only will he be making his MMA debut with PFL in 2024, but he's also been given a fancy advisory position on the PFL Africa board. Talk about making moves and leveling up, and Cormier's genuinely thrilled to see him thriving, saying he's sorry for ever doubting him about fumbling the bag, and recognizes that he had the courage to step into the unknown, knowing his worth and staying loyal to his dreams. It's a testament to Ngannou's character and determination, and managing to bag a deal in Saudi Arabia is a big deal. Cormier says everyone better believe the cash is flowing like crazy, especially after the Saudis bought out the PGA, so the two warriors are about to rake in a fortune. Anthony Joshua shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight, and it's a mixed bag of emotions for the heavyweight champion. During the announcement press conference for his rematch with Dillian Whyte, Joshua didn't hold back when expressing his disappointment. Even though he made it clear that it was none of his business, AJ still couldn't understand why Fury isn't fighting for the undisputed heavyweight championship and sees this match as nonsense. He thinks Fury should be going after that title instead. But in the end, he clarified and said, "If the Gypsy King thinks it's right for him, why should he care?" Joshua was trying to strike a balance between staying out of it, voicing his disappointment, and acknowledging that everyone has their own path to follow. But Joe Rogan's absolutely hyped about the potential matchup between the two and recently shared his thoughts on his podcast, saying it's all about the money and entertainment value for him. He wants to see Ngannou step into the boxing ring because he believes it would bring everyone a massive payday. He's talking about McGregor versus Mayweather levels of cash here. Those guys raked in a cool $100 million, and Rogan would love to see Francis have a similar financial windfall. But it's not only about the money. He also sees both fighters as major draws in the combat sports world, and because of their star power and fan bases, the potential for huge paydays becomes a reality. Plus, Rogan can't help but be intrigued by the visual spectacle of Ngannou being outsized by Fury, who stands at a towering 6'9". That alone would hype him up enough to buy a ticket. He recognizes that both of them are highly marketable athletes, as the UFC heavyweight champion venturing into the boxing realm brings a unique appeal to the table for fans. And because of the big bucks, the spectacle, and the curiosity of seeing two formidable fighters face off, Rogan and fans alike are eagerly counting the days to the match. White also chimed in on the buzz surrounding Ngannou versus Fury, and he wasn't the least bit surprised by all the calls for this matchup. He made it clear that he saw this as a testament to the state of boxing and how the sport was in a bad need of good matchups, the need for compelling matchups. White said it was clear that these boxing guys needed to step up and lead the sport. It's all part of the game in the fight business, so it wasn't a surprise to anyone this mega event was going down. But it's only about settling who's the greatest heavyweight in the world. It's more of a strategic move driven by the allure of big audiences and lucrative opportunities. After Fury's knockout victory over Dillian in April 2022, he invited Ngannou into the ring and talked about him as his next challenger, knowing that there were over 94,000 potential customers in the audience, since Wembley Stadium has a massive pay-per-view audience watching at home. It was a savvy sales pitch, capitalizing on the moment and the hype surrounding the event. But why specifically Ngannou? In a boxing ring, Fury, the undefeated WBC and lineal world champion, would have a huge advantage over an MMA fighter like him, who has never competed professionally as a boxer, but the choice to face each other as crossover partners is a trend of mega spectacle fights that have captivated combat sports recently. This trend kicked off in 2017, when McGregor brought the undefeated Mayweather out of retirement, and the promotional tour generated an astounding 4.3 million pay-per-view buys, making it the second highest-selling fight ever. Since then, many people within and outside the sports world have been captivated by the idea of lucrative opportunities in these spectacle fights, and they typically involve at least one non-boxer and at least one athlete who has retired from professional sports. In that sense, this matchup falls perfectly in line with this trend because Ngannou has never fulfilled his childhood dream of becoming a professional boxer, and Fury hinted at retirement before his 2022 fight with White. While the fight may not settle the debate about the greatest heavyweight, it aligns with the spectacle-driven era of combat sports, offering big money and some captivating entertainment for fans, making Rogan's comparison all the more sense. So from people comparing the matchup to McGregor versus Mayweather to predictions that he's got no chance against Fury, those were pro fighters reacting to Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou.